All right.
Oh, did you want another coffee before we start, Jake?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, because I made you one.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Fuck you.
I'll drink his coffee if he doesn't want it.
I want it. I just don't want it right now.
No, too late. It's already in my mouth.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin and joining me today are...
Oh, Jake.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Chris.
This is going to take all goddamn day. This is Ames.
We're here for episode 91.
Woo! Welcome back, Caitlin. How's your foot?
It's better, thanks.
Yay!
Like, here's the thing, really quickly, is that it was the dumbest reason for anyone to ever have to go to the fucking ER. They'd broken a pint glass... had swept it up. Yeah. No, I knocked it off the table. And,
like a cat.
Showed that floor.
Yeah, I did. Then I showed myself, because I swept, but the thing is my new place has, like, really deep whatever's
grooves
between the boards. Yeah, grooves between the boards, so I didn't get it all. And, well, I have found most of it now. And
in your foot.
In my foot. So, it was like two pieces. One piece I was able to remove very easily. The other piece I tried to remove with tweezers. No luck. Kept trying, no luck. It hurt. I couldn't put weight in it.
Oh.
It was literally a piece of glass. It was like maybe 2 millimeters long, but it was in there. So I waited for 5.5 hours or something to get them out, and I got a bonus tetanus shot for my trouble. So
Nice.
It was time.
That's good.
It's just I don't like shots. Anyway,
Sorry for the tangent, but
no, that's okay.
We're
No,
glad to have you back.
listen, there'll be lots of them. So thank you. So we're gonna try to blast through this because today we are actually doing something a little different, which is we're looking at 3 episodes.
Whoa.
So we'll be quick, be as brief as I can.
5-hour episode. Good luck, y'all.
Thank you.
I'm going to stopwatch you. You get 30 seconds per episode.
Oh, shit. Okay, so in Sarek is on board with his new wife, because Amanda's dead, I guess, and a couple of helpers. I don't really know. He's going to meet the Lwaxana. Lwaxana?
Sounds
Is that
right.
what that says?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to meet the Lwaxana. They're doing some awesome ambassadorial shit. I honestly don't even know what it is, because they keep mentioning it, but we don't see any of it, which is hilarious.
Just like we did on Corridon.
Yeah. And so it was Mark Leonard who's back, and it was awesome, but he has something called Bendai syndrome, which is a degenerative neurological disease in older Vulcans, over 200 years old specifically, we learn, where they basically stop being able to control their emotions. Somehow, even though it's a super rare thing, and like somehow a lot of the time doctors don't seem to know a lot about Vulcan physiology, I guess they've really upped their game since the original series, because Bev is able to find this really fucking rare bullshit and be like, this is definitely it. Like, how could that be? We'll talk about it later. Anyway.
Question.
And actually, had we seen Savik before?
Savik? Oh, you mean not Savik?
Isn't his name also Savik? Sakif? Oh, that's what I was thinking of, Savik, that's why. The whole time I was watching it like, you used to be a girl. I don't know what's happening here. Anyway, Sakif that's one of his little wingmen. He was helping control his emotions, but he was slipping. Yeah, so as you can imagine, that's like the worst thing that could happen to a Vulcan, because losing control of your emotions is just awful and embarrassing. And it was really good. We get to see a little mind meld action between Jean-Luc and Sarek, and really great acting, and we'll get there. It's a fantastic episode. The end is that there's a mind meld that allows Sarek, thanks, Jesus Christ, all these Saveks and Sakevs and shit. But yeah, Sarek is able to mind meld with Jean-Luc, which allows him to keep his shit together. He has his meeting with his little buddies, the Lwaxana, and it's a happy ending, I guess, except now he's gonna go home to his planet and basically have Vulcan dementia.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yay! In Menage Troi...
I didn't hate it.
No, I liked it.
I thought it was good use of Lwaxana.
I loved it, yeah.
And Ferengi. And
yes.
Deanna.
It was all good. Everything.
Not
I really
Riker.
did. I liked it. We will get there,
hate
though.
This one.
You hate it?
Oh, I think
We
so.
will get there later. This is a summary, goddammit.
Wow.
Okay, in the Menage Troi, Ferengi named Damon Togg decides that he wants to not only bone Lwaxana Troi, but also use her powers of empathy and brain... Telepathy, thank you. He wants to use her telepathy so that they can, like, screw people in negotiations. Basically, in order to do this, he kidnaps her and Deanna and Riker, and basically what winds up happening is Lwaxana plays like she's suddenly in love with him to get the other two out. And in the end, this works, but at least I actually, for a second, really thought she was into it. Because she's like, no, go ahead, darling, leave me here. And I was like, what is happening right now? But then, in a twist that I did not see coming, embarrassingly enough, she was playing up the whole time. Wait a minute, to specify. I knew she was faking it up to a point. It was just this last second when she's like, I'm not leaving, that I was kind of like, what the fuck is happening here, Lwaxana? Are you that horny? Yikes.
I thought she was sacrificing herself.
Yeah, I just thought she was into it. Okay. I thought she had decided she was into it. Like, maybe he had a really big hog. I mean, look at the size of those ears. And maybe she really likes money. I don't know, dude.
But she did umox on him, which is something you had asked about.
Yeah, it was sexy. I was into it. I've never had umox like this before. I was like, oh no, she's really good at giving a Ferengi hand job. So anyway, but it was all a ploy, and Jean-Luc is like, you have to return her to us, and the Ferengi's like, no, bitch, she's mine now. And Lwaxana's like, no, Jean-Luc, I told you, it's over. And Deanna's like, oh, you really gotta fake that you want to bone my mom.
Yeah, fake it.
And then we got this amazing, these like two really good Patrick Stewart episodes with these wonderful acting. Like,
I was missing the third one with two, so there'd be a link between the three, but they're
so good.
It wasn't there.
It wasn't, but I loved it. And this is where we get this great handout gesture thing that has become memes. And anyway, Jean-Luc pretends to be really in love with Lwaxana, and Tog is a coward, so he's like, get this bitch off my ship before they blow us up! And that's the end, basically. Then Transfigurations. Oh boy. I actually liked it. Full disclosure, yep, I did. It was romantic.
Oh, you like the guy.
I like romantic. Anything that's romantic-y, I like. I was like crying at the end. Anyway, I don't know, they're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's a ship that's crashed. There's a survivor. What a fucking shock. We go down, and the guy has he's fucking half his face blown off.
Brain is hanging out.
A la Two-Faced, and like,
you could see his teeth. It was grody.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really good work, actually. I was thinking, I hope they won some awards for that shit. And names, I know you'll be able to tell me later.
They did not.
Damn it, they should have. It looked great. Anyway, we never find out his real name, do we? No.
We don't. Well, do we?
We do?
I don't think we do.
I thought at the very end, like, his people, they say it once, like, when they pop on, they go, ah! And they say his name.
He was saying
no, he said that was
captain.
Sunni.
No, I thought anyway, doesn't matter.
I don't
John
think so.
Doe.
If they did, they would have mentioned it on Memory Alpha, and they did not. But apparently, that he did have a name in an original script.
Well, I would fucking hope so. Anyway, we find this guy, half his head is blown off. We take him onto the ship and start healing him, and he's healing really quickly, and it's partly because Bev's a good doctor. No, she's terrible. But it's mostly because his, cells are regenerating at a rapid rate, because as we find out, he's, evolving, because that's how evolution works, really quickly and on one person at a time. So... Listen, guys, you can't argue with science, okay?
I love that.
It's mostly bullshit. I mean, he has
amnesia.
Yeah, thank you, yes. Like I fucking apparently do. He has amnesia, he doesn't remember who he is, but he starts having these weird bursts of light, and the first one we see, it happens on the planet, and he, heals Geordi's bruised confidence, ? I don't know. I really thought it was
kind of an aborted plot line in this episode.
Clearly.
About halfway through, we stopped seeing Christy or anything.
Here's the thing.
Fucking
I wish
Christy.
it had been
Anyway, we'll talk about that
fucking bitch.
when we get to the episode.
She was too good for his Coco Onos, but...
So it was the same girl.
Of course it was.
That's what I thought. Okay, well, he's a creep and needs to move on, because I think that was either, the beginning of this season or last season. Geordi really let it go.
That was the Leah Brahms episode.
Gross. Let it go, Geordi. Anyway... Yeah, he's got amnesia. He starts healing people. He, accidentally kills Worf, but then brings him back to life. Phew. And, I don't know, he heals a few other people. His people show up, and they're like, give us that criminal. He's bad. He's, spreading dissension. Anytime I hear someone say they're spreading dissension and not telling what they're actually doing, it makes me think that they're actually doing something good that the government just doesn't like, right? Always. But apparently, the people on the Enterprise are not familiar with this trope, so they're kind of like, I don't know, we need more data. And he, of course...
has no more data. He's on the bridge.
But not Data. That is not my name. It turns out his memory kind of comes back, and he's like, now I know, I have to evolve into a fucking bodysuit with a spotlight shined on it.
Yeah.
Which apparently is the higher consciousness of these people. The
Shitholians.
Zalconian, there we go. So yeah, Zalconian higher consciousness apparently looks like, what's that green guy? You know, the guy in the suit?
Green guy.
The Green Man.
Green Man, yeah, it just looks like Green Man, but except he's White Man with a spotlight on him.
It was orange. He was orange, and I think he had like a special suit that reacted to the film. But it still looked
I
awful.
I figured that they had done post on that. Like
They did not do
went
post
over
on
the
that.
negative with a highlighter.
Wow, you guys, I thought he actually just achieved higher consciousness,
That's quite
so you
possible.
guys are way ahead of me. At any rate, the ending was shitty, but he was like, look, I am awesome, and then, Bev, I love you, sort of, bye. And that's the end of that, also.
I'm sure we'll see him again next week.
Oh, I was really excited.
We emphatically won't.
That's too bad. Well,
No,
it's
he's
because-
gonna go chill with the Organians now.
I was gonna say, because he's
just-
like on the fourth plane, fourth
I mean,
dimensional.
is he basically just the traveler, kind of?
I thought he was just kind of spacey
Like I said, I think
at
he's more,
first.
he's more an Organian, I think.
Maybe.
Because they were
Anyway.
little balls of light.
Anyway,
I think that was
wasn't
pretty
bad.
fast
Yeah,
for
but
me.
the Organians
For 3
were
episodes,
already
that's good.
evolved.
Because again, I knew what they were about. I remembered what they were about, so it made it easier.
Well, let's begin at the beginning.
Yes.
A
Sorry.
very good place.
God, that was
start.
So good.
it was heartbreaking.
Lovely.
It was really great use of bringing back an old character. Like, it was like, no, this is actually like a legit story we're telling, not just, look who it is! Everyone applaud, you recognize this guy.
Well, they added that it was going to be Sarek last. Like, they knew...
Wait, the episode was called Sarek? And
Well,
weren't gonna
they can
have
change
Sarek on
the
it?
title.
I know, I'm joking.
No, so yeah, they had the idea that they would have, some kind of ambassador having some kind of a health crisis to mirror what's happening with Roddenberry this whole time, because Roddenberry's health is going faster and faster. And I guess, who wrote this? I forget who wrote this.
Someone who never
if
saw
I wrote,
Journey
if I
to
wrote it
Babel.
down, I can't
It's
find it.
probably a Rick Berman, if I had to guess.
No, it was not.
It's not?
I don't think so.
Here's the thing, though. Like, why... I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
understand choosing Sarek because he's awesome, but he's already had an ambassadorial health crisis episode, and it was Journey to Babel. Why did we have to do it again?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, but I think this was more it's reflective much on like Alzheimer's,
Oh,
and
for
then and then they
sure.
decided to make it Mark Leonard or make it Sarek, so that you can say like even the greatest minds are not infallible.
Yeah, well, and I think that's
That's
part
not
of
the
what
word I'm
makes
looking
it...
for.
Oh.
immutable.
Are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Are vulnerable.
But yeah, that makes it, like, I think that's part of what really helps, is we so rarely in modern fiction sort of get to see the end of characters where we've sort of traveled with in some way, shape, or form.
Well, right. You get them as the hero and legend they are during their hero legend period. You don't hear about how they die in bed like everybody else.
I know, and that's why the ending was surprising to me, because they ask what's going to happen to Sarek now, because he still will have this disease.
Yep.
It'll come back after the mind meld wears
And we know
off.
that there's no cure
And
because Bev already told us.
all they say is, well, we're working on our science, and that doesn't answer the question, guys.
Well, the other thing, too, is how much work are they really putting into this, considering there have been no confirmed cases
Well, now that
in
they know
Sarek's
Sarek has it, they probably-
200-year lifetime?
202.
Sure.
Well, they're probably going to try harder now that they know Sarek has it.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll be too late, but...
What's interesting, though, when you think about it, how rare is it? Because they think there's no confirmed cases, but how many Vulcans just kind of lost
suffer in
themselves
silence.
away?
Yeah, it seems like it would
How
be...
many make it to 200 plus?
it could, I wonder, there could be some, AIDS allegory here, possibly.
Maybe.
Like, we don't talk about it,
Yeah, maybe.
Along
With the... Yeah, because, obviously the Alzheimer's thing is readily apparent, but that could be totally a part
Yeah,
of it.
but the thing about Alzheimer's is, as horrible as it is, it's not like a taboo.
No, that's what I mean. So that's why there could be that extra layer of it.
Well, and we
that
do know that
I
they've
didn't
already
pick
given
up.
us an AIDS episode, so it is possible that it's something that they are still trying to be like,
Yeah, I thought that was the most interesting thing about the disease itself, is that it's incredibly rare, or so we're told, but then Sarek spends most of the episode denying that he even has it.
because he's like embarrassed. by
Even
it.
the wife denies it, even though she specifically wiped a tear off his face. It's like, how did you not notice that was weird, honey?
And-
You're no Amanda.
I think she did know. I think she totally knew. I think she was in it with the other one, the one that was
sidekick.
Mendozan.
The
Sakev.
human guy.
Sakev.
Oh, Sakev.
I think she was in it with Sakev because
Sakev.
when he says to her like, "Did you know this?" and she doesn't say anything, I feel like she like totally knew and was like, "But I'm your wife."
That human dude, his little toady there.
Oh, I hate
what a
Mendozan.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking spin doctor, you know? That's freaking Sarah Sanders right there. Sarek's version of Sarah Sanders.
I think...
sorry, you meant... Okay, so, like, when I hear Sarah Sanders, I only can think of her when I hear her entire title. It's like...
Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
Yeah.
Liar-in-Chief, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah, it's just for some reason, like, I don't even think of her as Sarah Sanders. If it's not Huckabee Sanders...
See, to defend...
You have to remember that she's related to Mike Huckabee, who's also a piece of shit.
To defend Weird Hair Flip Guy, although... ultimately, nothing good came of it. He was coming from a good place, I think.
I mean, he was gonna...
Sanders is just a monster.
By, like, covering up the illness...
to protect Sarek.
Yeah, he wants
but
to protect his legacy.
By covering up the illness, they would have... Like, the negotiations that were evidently super important, for whatever reason...
With these people who really wanted the jacuzzi a certain color.
Catastrophically, if Sarek had gone in there as he was, you know? So, like, what he was doing was not helping.
No, and who knows? Maybe they've been trying to dissuade Sarek in their own way beforehand. You know, we don't know what exactly they've been up to before this.
I mean, guys,
denial. Denial.
I don't want to compare Sarek to a certain moron in chief, but they're just handlers. Just trying to steer it as best they can. Like, he was probably like, no, I'm Sarek, and I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. And they were like, fuck, how can we, like, mitigate as much disaster as possible? I know, let's write him his script. Oh, he's gone off script.
Also, speaking of the tear scene, can we just take a moment to acknowledge poor Data, who every time he has a recital, somebody walks out dramatically?
Yeah. Good thing he doesn't feel.
That's true.
He feels. He has so many feels.
I mean, the last time he gave a very sad look when Picard walked out on him.
Yeah, and now, like, a very famous ambassador whom, like, Picard has all these memories of being in the presence of once.
Being fair, though, Data also knows he's crazy old and was probably just like, oh, he probably has to pee. Old people have to pee a lot.
You know,
I don't know, Vulcans have complete control over their bodily systems.
You know what was a great...
And their emotions.
You know what was a great
we have an
thing
extra bladder.
and a great piece of foreshadowing in this episode is that after Sarek is like, oh, I have to be in seclusion, and Picard's all bummed out. He specifically says, oh man, I really, regret that I won't be able to share his thoughts and memories on this journey.
Oh shit, I didn't think of that.
That's good.
Because I knew what happens in the episode, and I'm like, oh wow, nice job, writer.
See, it's funny, I knew
Did you look up who the writer was?
Yeah, it's something Beagle, but he doesn't have any other...
Porthos?
Peter S. Beagle, who has no, as far as I can
Peter
tell,
S. Beagle wrote The Last Unicorn.
Yeah, he wrote The Last Unicorn, but he doesn't have any other Star Trek credits, which I found
What?
interesting.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What's The Last Unicorn?
The best fucking movie
well,
ever, and also a great book.
Yeah, he wrote the book.
Well, he also
wrote the screenplay to the 1978 animated version of The Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Oh God, that's why did you have to mention that?
Wow. That's great. I had no idea. How do I?
The fucking shitty Rankin Bass cartoon? Must have been.
That's nuts. No, it could have been the other one.
There
was a Rankin Bass one, but there's also a different...
No, wait a minute. No. Rankin Bass did The Hobbit and Return of the King. I don't think they did Lord of the Rings, actually.
Yeah, so this would have been the Ralph Bakshi, whatever.
Yeah,
was it good?
Ralph Bakshi.
It's famous. I've never seen it.
It's famous.
It made $30 million on a $4 million budget. So it did
in
well
the 60s?
In the 70s, 78.
That's a lot of money in the 70s, isn't it?
It's still a pretty cheap animated film. It must have been like...
Yeah, it probably looked like shit, too.
Yeah, it probably looked like TOS. I saw...
TAS? Probably worse.
I saw a cartoon, like a clip from a cartoon the other day that had a very similar animation style. I didn't check to see if it was by the same bozos that did TAS, but I was like, this is the same animation. That lazy
In fact, there's Kirk right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just with different colored hair.
Yeah, they probably would have done that, just repainted.
Oh, actually, it doesn't look too bad. It looks a lot like The Last Unicorn, actually, is what it looks like.
So anyway, Sarek.
Yeah.
I will say, I loved the episode, but I hate to say it, though, Perrin kind of a weak link.
Yeah, Amanda wouldn't have put up with this shit.
Well, not just that, but the actor just wasn't as...
Oh,
She was a little generic.
She had a lot of fancy stones.
She did.
I loved her big fucking necklace. I wanted
matched her
that
headpiece.
I guarantee there's somebody on Etsy selling it because...
What was her name? What's her name?
Perrin.
Perrin.
Yes.
Like the Worcestershire sauce.
Delicious.
But I felt like...
But assumably Amanda Grayson had died by now because human lifespans.
Yeah, because she was already kind of older. She was probably in her 50s or 60s in TOS, which was 100 years ago.
What is Perrin's life like?
I don't know. And man,
Wonder when
I'm trying to think of like what the blank fever term.
Oh,
would be
I've been trying to figure it out
for
too.
A Vulcan who's obsessed with human women. You know, like.
I mean, on Vulcan they just call him fucking weird.
Could it just be beaver fever?
Round ear.
Whoa, yeah, probably something like that. Etsy has failed me, by the way.
Oh no. Wait, and they make mention of going to his son's wedding. And I'm wondering, I'm certain it's not Spock. I'm certain he has 8 more siblings he's told no one about.
Could be Cybok.
Cybok's dead.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad that you both just at the same time. It was so good.
Yeah, no, I thought that too. I'm like, where's Cybok now? Oh, right. God got him.
That's the thing. Like, did Spock get married, or is there just... That's the thing. You never know with Spock. He never talks about his family.
No. And, Mark and Sarek's been around 200 years. How long is he fertile? He's had a bunch of wives.
Yeah.
How long is who fertile?
Has he had a... I mean, we know he's had...
Forever. Men
had
are
a
always
before
fertile.
Amanda.
Yep, because that's where Cybok came from.
And he had Amanda, and he didn't... was there anybody in between, do we think?
No idea. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's very vague.
I mean, apparently Michael Burnham doesn't rank either in the in Sarek's, because he seemed awfully close to her on Discovery, but he doesn't give a shit about her now. I mean, she's long dead, obviously, but
that's true. Ooh.
See, but it's a little different. Their relationship is different because she had a little bit of his Katra, so she already knew how he really felt.
That's true.
That's why she didn't have to be included in the sad monologue. That's how I'm justifying it.
I mean, that's true, because Spock never mind melds with Sarek.
That we know of, yeah.
He doesn't say Cybok, though. So apparently he didn't love Cybok.
Well, Cybok was a piece of shit. Who would love that
Or his
guy?
first Vulcan wife.
I'm sure the first Vulcan wife was on arranged marriage.
Yeah, that was a political marriage, you can tell.
Also, I noticed that, so Picard... So is that confirmation that Spock does get married? Is that what the implication is?
I think that's the implication, because there was like a taboo on mentioning shit from TOS in TNG, except this episode was just kind of like pushed it, and they're like, okay, now that we've pushed it, we can do it all the time, right?
Yeah, because if his son's wedding, and if it is Spock and Picard, the only reason Picard would have attended it would be if he was a Starfleet captain. I don't imagine just any old guy would go to the wedding.
That's true.
So it must be in the last 30 years-ish. So that means Spock married late.
I mean, he also could have been there as, like, the attendant of another captain.
Okay, well, still, I mean, Picard's, he's like, 50 maybe?
Ish, I think.
50-ish?
I think Picard's supposed to be, like, Picard is supposed to be, like,
well, if he's
10 years older
been a
than
captain
Patrick
for
Stewart.
30 years, he's got to be older than 50. He's going to be in his, like, at least...
Yeah,
60.
I know that Picard is older than Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, well, because they imply that, like...
You age slower.
The next generation or two, they're already going to be, like, living to their mid-100-teens.
Well, I mean...
We saw
McCoy.
Yeah, he was
looked
120.
like shit, but he was there.
I'm just saying, like, in real life, they're saying people who are, like, 18 now will probably live, like, another 100 years.
Jesus.
I don't buy that. I mean...
That's what I've heard.
What about the obesity epidemic?
The fatties will die, but...
Well, that is actually... I mean,
they keep talking about how people's health is worse now.
Outside of this country...
Health can be worse, but lifespans can be longer regardless.
Just artificial extension through medicine?
I mean, look at... Like, not to be a dick, but look at Shatner. That is a man who clearly does what he wants, and that motherfucker is in his mid-80s.
Oh,
no, I thought he was in his 70s.
Just killed him.
No,
you realize by the time this episode airs, he will be dead because of you.
Sorry, everyone, that I killed Captain Kirk. Me and Malcolm
Because
McDowell.
every time we make an offhand statement like that, whatever it was comes true.
Sorry, Mooch.
Sorry, Mooch. Sorry, America, for Trump.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
You can blame The Simpsons on that.
Sure. So yeah, but really, really well done episode.
Yeah. Like the mind meld scene.
Oh god, yeah.
Is stunning. Like I actually was like tearing up just watching it. I'm like, fuck you, Patrick Stewart. Why are you doing this?
Do you mean while he was like in the throes of that was really beautifully
They shot
done.
it in one take.
Fuck.
Those monsters.
Well, can you imagine putting the actor through that multiple times?
Well, yes. But also, can you imagine nailing it perfectly the first time. It
No.
was so good. I mean, and he was even, like, I feel like he was even channeling some Sarek. So, like, it wasn't just that the emotional, like, roller coaster ride was perfect and it kept you and all this stuff. It was also, like, that he was playing a character, but not playing a character, being imbued with a character, and it was, oh my god, it was heartbreaking.
I mean, in terms of in-world stuff, it really showed us the incredible intensity of Vulcan emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Of Patrick Stewart.
well, no, just like, if that's what is going on in Sarek's brain all the time, and yet he has this completely, most of the time, composed exterior, like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, we have heard before this that their emotions are, like, more intense and whatever.
Clearly.
I was actually sort of surprised, though. From the way they were describing it, I sort of expected Jean-Luc to be more physically out of control / violent. Like, at first, he was moving so little that I actually thought they had strapped him down. And then I found myself thinking, oh, I wish they had strapped him down, because I feel like if he's having this much intense emotion, he should be much more...
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Well, what they didn't show is after it cut to the other scene,
He beat the shit out of
Beverly.
They also, I mean, they may have, considering she was there, they may have preemptively, like, given him something.
Yeah.
Well, right, and then if you consider that, if that, then holy shit, it's even, like, tenfold more than we think and that we see.
I wonder, like, I know obviously for the tour de force acting performance, but I wonder why in world they wouldn't have just put him out as soon as the mind meld was complete. Just like, here you go.
Maybe there
Take a
had to
nap.
be an active sort of like psychic link between the two of them, and him being unconscious would have fucked that up somehow.
Also, did I miss something, or why didn't he just do this with Saketh? Or whatever his name was. His buddy.
Sakev?
Well, I get...
Like, because
If
it
I
seems
had
like
to-
a Vulcan
Or
would be
literally,
better.
or literally
better-
anyone else.
Or any other Vulcan. Because
Well-
we know that, like, what's her name's on board?
Solar.
Solar.
It could be that if the whole thing is to sort of try to tamp down those intense Vulcan emotions, exposing another Vulcan to it just has
so you
even
think
more
that-
intense...
Yeah.
And also, that guy wasn't that great an actor.
True. But he would have been able to keep it contained, probably. But you might be right that, like, he wasn't just that he needed to offload his emotions, he needed to absorb somebody's stoicism.
Yeah, and a Vulcan, like, the whole point is his Vulcan control has lapsed. Just giving him more Vulcan stuff is like...
That's a fair point.
Could he have done it with Data?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we know that they can, but
Do they have a Beauregard on board, and can they do it with him?
probably.
So, the other thing, too, let's not sell...
So stoic, those Beauregards.
You also got to give credit to Mark Leonard, because when he came out of it, even his differences were subtler, but they were there.
They were good differences.
And I remember just like, because when I was like, yeah, it's Sarek. And then when he comes out of the mind, I was like, no, wait, that's Sarek. He was doing it differently at first. Holy shit.
Well, like, even just the way he said number one.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I was like, holy shit. Like, it was very...
Sarek is back!
But also the fact
So
that
are the Romulans.
That's true.
the fact that he was the original Romulan, so it's perfect. Because
It
I did
was
like
so
the
good.
fact that he picked up calling Riker number one.
Yeah, there was just a lot of... But, like, even the way he said it. He imbued it with so much Picard. It was like...
Yeah. But he had, just in general, he seemed more, he was a little more, his posture was better, he was clearly more in control. It was the way you're used to seeing Sarek.
Because he did. He seemed very, like, hunched and feeble when he first comes
Which
on.
I think I hadn't really, I think I noticed.
No, you
but I thought,
don't really.
I was just like, well, yeah, sure, Mark Leonard's
Because he's old, yeah.
older than he
Showing
had
him that
been.
he's old, yeah.
But then he, like, nope, here I am. You're like, oh, fuck.
Is it possible, stroke, likely that the reason why he mind melds with Picard and not Saketh, not just because Saketh's not a good actor, but also because Picard is already, like, a known negotiator?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
pick up some of those skills. Because the whole conceit was that they wouldn't deal with anybody other than Sarek.
Yeah. But Saketh had been sort of
Yeah, greasing the wheel.
being like, so how's Picard's diplomacy?
I want to know what the Lagarans look like if they have to hang out in their jacuzzi bath.
I kind of pictured Pizza the Hut
What?
from Spaceballs.
I don't remember what it was.
He's literally
basically
a Jabba the Hutt mound of pizza.
Like, maybe
and
not-
his toppings are like just like dribbling
Dripping
off
off
of him. And his little sidekick eats him. a
Yeah,
little bit.
like, I maybe not literally Pizza the Hut, but I was not picturing anything. I was picturing just kind of goopy piles.
Oh,
Doesn't he at one point turn to him and go, "You're delicious"?
He does, yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but that is
Spaceballs.
legit, like...
10 forward. We have to do Spaceballs. That shit's great.
Should.
Good.
But yeah, no, I
Star
legitimately
Trek
thought they were
reference, isn't it?
probably barely coherent piles of goo.
I was picturing those fish monsters
The
that were
Antidians, yeah, me too.
that were like frozen sardines.
Yeah.
I was thinking like any salted meat, we had to rehydrate them by putting them in a jacuzzi. Here we go. Bring that to a boil, it'll come round. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I picture, and like I'm wondering what. So it was. So other than the fact that it was Sarek's life's work to negotiate with these guys, what was the importance of them? Do they have some resource that we needed?
So that's the funny part.
Do they ever get into it
I
at
just
all?
wrote. I just wrote trade negotiations.
Until you mentioned...
So they must have something that they want.
Until you mentioned that...
Their women are really hot.
Ooh.
God, that thing, that's the way with science
They're
fiction.
just floating vaginas.
The men would be like piles of goop, but the women would just be normal women painted a funny color. But no, it's funny though, until you mentioned that they don't explicitly get into it, it didn't even occur to me that they hadn't.
Yeah, it's not important. It's like, it's sort of a thing.
But that's that just goes to show the strength of the main plot, is that it didn't even occur to me that this was left so vague. I think I had assumed it was admission to the Federation, because it's always admission to the Federation.
So something we haven't really discussed also is the effect
Yeah.
of Sarek's
I was gonna bring that up.
sickness on the rest of the crew.
You want to bring up Wesley's good burn?
Oh man, Wes!
Woo!
My man Wes freaking
Yeah.
burned the shit out of Geordi.
That was amazing.
With that, at least I don't have to find women in the holodeck.
Woo! I love that one of
Oh
the...
my god, is that why Geordi needed repaired confidence?
I hope so.
In
Yeah.
Transfiguration?
He just got
Because he got fucking
by
trashed
Wesley.
by a kid.
Yeah.
17-year-old, who, by the way, actually reminded me of this. Is anyone else creeped out that he's dating an ensign?
No?
I mean, he's an acting ensign.
Yeah, but my issue is he's 17. She's
Going
gone
on 18.
through the academy, which means she's probably minimum, like, early to mid-20s, which, yes, on paper isn't
I
a
didn't
huge
think about
age
that.
gap, but he's technically not legal yet.
in the
it's
future...
man.
I'm just saying, I'm like,
Actually, honestly, in the future, she might not be legal yet, technically also because of the way age expectancy has changed. 25 might be the new adult. 17 might still be the age of consent.
I think it reverses itself though, because I think that trend must reverse itself, because we see lots of young people doing stuff in Star Trek that
Well, yeah, but I
we
mean-
wouldn't expect young people
Yeah,
to
but
do.
both the
there
same
was,
age.
But there was such a big deal that Wesley was young and going to the academy.
Well, also the fact that Wesley had the opportunity to go to the academy 2 years prior, so
Yeah.
she could have been an early admittance.
maybe. I just
Because
remember
She's
he's
a
19.
genius like Wesley.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
who else could put up with his bullshit?
I don't know. My joke when Wesley was like, "I have a date," and Geordi should have said like, "Oh yeah, with your hand."
That would have
But
been
yeah,
a good
it's one of those
burn.
things where I'm like, the difference...
They would never put that on television.
The difference between 17 and early 20s is way different from, like, 27 and early 30s, you know? It's one of those things that's... He's right at that age where it's like, this is weird. But yes, I do enjoy that he burned Geordi.
So we also know that sorry, but I just want to get this in before.
No, please.
So now it's evidently public knowledge, or at least like
Oh, yeah.
rumor, that Geordi goes into the holodeck to bang Leah.
Okay,
so.
here's the thing. Think about how much he told them about his, like,
Coco
Ono date with What's-Her-Fuck.
That's true.
Maybe he just talks in his sleep.
Maybe.
And they're
He
just
talks
like,
while he's working in
No,
engineering.
he talks
I'm
in
gonna
his-
go bang Leah in the holodeck.
Talks in his sleep, and at some point Wesley had slipped a listening device into his visor. Because
Wesley,
Wes is
you
a
creep.
Well, actually, we know that the visor has that mode where you can transmit the info. So maybe
Fuck, does he accidentally transmit every time he's...
He never turned it off.
Accidentally transmit, so it's on, like, every screen in the ship, and everyone is just, like, watching
No,
it just
it's not like that. It's like
this
you're like people are
holodeck
just
girl.
sitting at home flipping through the channels and they get to the Geordi channel
That's horrifying.
Holy
on the boob tube.
That fucking guy.
And everything else, too.
Tucker's
Yeah, but that
ancestor.
was really wonderful. Like,
And then Bev slaps Wesley, and that's
which
wonderful.
was also wonderful. Oh, yeah. No, it was fun. It was fun watching them. My thing with, back to the ensign thing, though.
Oh.
I think a guy dating an older woman in that capacity is, like, less creepy, and I think that's a societal thing.
That's true. For with the other way around, it's like, that's creepy, but this way she's like, way to
All
go,
right,
kid!
bro.
Yeah! Woo! You're right,
Hot
you're
for
right.
teacher!
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's, like, exactly, Hot for Teacher, because it was 1990, and Hot for Teacher was, like, a couple years before. Like, that's a thing. It's an acceptable thing. It's another reason why everything is fucked up and weird. But anyway, I'm totally fine with it. Plus, like, it might have been... It was a date. It might have been their first date, and she might have been, like, letting him down easy, being like...
It's possible.
I don't like you that way.
Considering he was affected by Sarek, they probably beat each other up on the date.
How lucky is everyone on the ship that Worf wasn't affected? Because holy
goodness.
shit.
He probably was, and it probably made him less aggressive.
We've seen
Like,
everyone
let's be
take
real.
Worf at this point, so...
So, yeah, we got...
Oh god, the fucking bar fight!
Yeah, Star Trek's first bar fight since,
Tribbles.
Tribbles.
That's what I wanted that music to start. I haven't looked, but I hope somewhere on
Because
YouTube.
when they opened was great, they're like, what do you mean there's been disturbance? I was just like, yeah.
And it
I
was,
see what you mean.
it was an equal opportunity bar fight. There were women in that.
Yeah, everyone.
Some woman kicked a guy's ass.
Probably lots of women did that.
Did the
But
guy,
when they just get a good look at doing
No,
it.
I
is
know.
what I mean.
I'm just kidding.
Did the guy that picked a fight with O'Brien have a weird accent?
I
sounded
didn't
like
notice.
he might have. I couldn't tell though.
I do not remember.
I thought he might have like
I was
Oh.
wondering...
like a little Scottish.
I was wondering
sounding.
if
Got a little
if all of
Scottish in
this, if all this is coming from Sarek's inability to control emotions and they're getting projected, why does he only seem to feel anger? Why doesn't his crying get passed around the ship?
Because anger is the strongest emotion.
Well, and also because it's probably his...
Horniness is the strongest emotion.
It's probably his prevailing
It's
emotion.
the smelliest.
Because he's angry that he's feeling the other feelings, is my guess.
And he's stressed out because he's got this conference coming.
Yeah, but that's stress. Stress doesn't
But
stress leads to
higher,
anger.
higher stress, which leads to, as we know, the dark side.
Yeah.
No, sorry, to hate, which then leads to the dark side.
Also,
Fear.
I'd like to point
Fear
out
leads to the dark side.
that
Oh, thank you.
Thank God we have Troy on board because she picked up on this shit
Never.
0.05 seconds before
Everyone
everybody
else.
else.
Jesus, she's just...
Yeah,
they
that
don't
was
know
not
what
good.
to do with that
That wasn't
character.
great.
Speaking of not knowing what to do with Deanna.
Hey, Menage Troi.
Yeah.
I liked Deanna in this. I
And
didn't like her outfit. She looked like a fucking gift
No,
wrap
fuck
present.
you! I loved it. It was so 80s prom. She looked like she belonged in a fucking Cyndi Lauper video, and I was so there for that. I loved it.
Can we...
The leggings I would have changed, but the dress was perfect.
Can we talk about, though,
No.
before we get into everything else?
No.
What a badass motherfucker Mr. Homn is when it comes to picking berries.
I thought the same thing. He got so many berries.
He
like,
was gone
2
and
minutes-
back.
Probably just like
flash.
pulled a tree out of the ground
and
and
shook
shook
it.
it.
Yeah.
And then put it back upside down, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
the
he-
roots akimbo.
he comes back, and that fucking hat box is just full of lingonberries or whatever, and he's just like eating one.
I don't think it was lingonberries. Those
I
are
know.
real
Some
things.
some
aren't
men-
They gave it a space
Did you
name.
write that down?
No, I didn't write the berries down.
Look, lingonberries are real though.
They are,
Lingonberries.
yes.
Yeah,
They're not
it probably
great.
wasn't
They're
a
very
lingonberry.
tart.
Yeah.
They make pies out of them, don't they? Aren't
They're
lingonberries
jelly.
also called gooseberries? Aren't they the same thing?
I have no idea.
If
I'm
they
gonna look
are,
it
I
up.
don't know.
I'm looking it up right now.
But yes, the episode itself.
Yeah, speaking of lingonberries, though, I wrote a note that I have to read. Gene Roddenberry wanted to add a scene with Lwaxana offering Riker a bite of a very phallic fruit, complete with veins, and they cut that.
Good.
Hey, I want to have a scene where my wife gives another man a big schlong to suck on. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Gene.
apparently Gene was around a lot for this one, because not only was his wife in it, but his secretary, whom he banged, Susan Sackett, was the writer of it.
Awkward.
So I feel like, I don't know, I just felt like the way this episode was shot and like, I don't know, it felt very amateur. I don't know. The way it cut between scenes irked me. The way, like, the pacing of the dialogue even, like the way the dialogue was delivered felt very much like reading off a page almost. Like there's one point where...
So you didn't like the direction of this one?
Yeah, where, I don't know, Riker, I think it was when he walked in and... Or no, I think it was when, what's-his-face beamed them all up to the ship and he was like, Torg, no! Don't do it! It was like...
Tog.
Whatever. I was just like, I don't know, I just felt like...
Wait, but what's Torg? Torg is a thing. Oh, Torg is from Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. It's the name of the robot.
Isn't a Targ is a little piglet on...
It's a puppy.
In
it's a
Kronos.
Klingon.
Yeah, it's Klingon dogs.
Targ?
But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like that was where my gripes with the episode were. It's just like, it feels very much like a filler episode.
Oh, it was definitely a filler episode.
filler.
And
Yeah.
like it doesn't. It looks
It was the seasonal get fucking Majel a role on the show.
Most people seemed like they were phoning it in. I don't know.
So the thing is, I was there.
Neelix was in it.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering.
He got there. He started off. I was like, "This isn't."
That was the
Ferengi's
doctor,
act.
right?
Yeah, he was the Dr. Ferric.
And also, I don't think it was supposed to be the same guy, but one of those during the like bar scene in the background, there was one of those Stratagemo guys.
Oh, was there? I didn't.
Yeah, there were a bunch of random other races hanging out.
So why does Riker use the rhythm of the
Right!
beat instead of just like Morse code or something?
Because the Ferengi, that's what I thought. Ferengi wouldn't have Morse code,
And
or if they did, they'd have different.
Too dopey to figure it out anyway.
Yeah, that's true too. That was kind of annoying.
Maybe Riker just doesn't know Morse code.
The thing I found so I've gone into this thing, oh Christ, it was a Lwaxana episode, someone saved me. But she was actually fine in it. What ended up bothering
Because
me...
for once she wasn't chasing after a guy, it was the other way.
True.
It was a subversion of your expectations.
One thing that was sort of off-putting, and I know, it was the early 90s and blah, 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 but the fact that, like, so much really creepy shit Daimon, whatever his name is there, was doing was, like, Tog was played for laughs. Like, oh, he beamed them out of their clothes.
No, I was really grossed out.
Yeah, but clearly the episode wanted you to giggle.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was horrified.
And again, I know. Product design,
Lwaxana likes being naked, though, because apparently their wedding ceremonies are naked.
I
That's
like
true.
being
Also,
naked. I wouldn't
they-
want someone to beam me out of my clothes without my permission.
Yeah, and Ferengi women don't wear clothes.
I will
They
say...
don't deserve the honor of clothes,
I will
according
say
to
the-
Dr.
I don't even
Dickbag.
think
Dr.
that's-
Neelix.
I don't think that's the reason later stated. I just
Well, that's
think-
what he said, because he's a
because
twat.
like later it's implied it's not like an honor thing. It's just like it's actually offensive to Ferengi men to see women. It's like more scandalous for a woman to be in clothes.
Sounds like bullshit. Sounds like something someone made up so they could make their women run around naked all the
there's
time.
like
Basically.
there's great moments where like Quark encounters his mom who wears clothes and is like, "Mother, take those clothes off immediately." And it's just like, ugh, this is icky, but also funny.
I don't like it. Ugh. Yuck. Well, but like I said, cleavage is nicer than a tit, so there might be something to that.
What were you going to say, Chris?
I don't know.
Oh, good.
I lost it.
Now we're thinking of Quark's mom naked.
No, Christ, no.
Having cleavage. Does she have lots of cleave?
No, she's like this old wrinkled prune thing. She looks like she looks like one of the Raisinets.
So she just looks like a fucking Raisinets!
No, they were called the Raisins.
Yeah,
They were
Raisins.
called-
The
they were
California
the
Raisins.
California Raisins.
But I knew what you meant.
You knew what I meant. It should have been called the Raisinets, although I guess that's a candy.
Those are women's. Raisinets would be the women.
And yes,
The
Raisinette
California
is already,
Raisins were men.
Oh yeah, they were like a doo-wop group.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, I remember them now.
They were great.
They were-
But now I'm just imagining one of them with big fucking Ferengi ears.
Yeah.
I'll get a picture.
Of a
naked Moogie? Thank you, Jay.
of a naked Raisinette.
It's somebody's fetish.
Probably.
So,
Probably someone we know.
yeah, I don't know. Inoffensive, but ultimately kind of forgettable episode.
Yeah. Since when can't Betazoids read Ferengi? Oh, something's happening over here.
Yeah, I know. That was the thing that pissed me off.
Yeah, California Raisins. I mean, being fair.
Caitlin is disgusted.
Being fair. I think, was she looking at a picture of Moogie?
Moogie naked.
Okay. So, being fair, I don't know if in their encounters with the Ferengi after this point, have they ever explicitly stated otherwise?
Yes.
Oh, well, there we go then.
Yes, they
That's
have.
dumb.
In, I think, the battle,
Oh.
Troy is like, I sense blah, blah, blah from them. And also, I think in the one with
The other fella?
Devanani Ral, and that Ferengi that wants the wormhole. She's like, I didn't sense from either of you that you were actually, doing a legit thing, and this was all a scam.
Okay. Well, there we go then. That is dumb.
Yeah, so when it's appropriate for the script,
Yep.
they can read or not read someone.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the case.
I think it
And
carries.
what's the point of them not being able to read Ferengi?
Because
Because they wouldn't know that they're about to be kidnapped?
I mean, they wouldn't know anyway. Well, Lwaxana might. She's a much better telepath than her
and also
daughter.
like because Ferengis use a
Everybody-
lot of deceit in their negotiation tactics that they would have figured it out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like just like everyone can fly the TARDIS better than the Doctor, all Betazoids seem to do better than she does. And is it just because she's a halfling?
Yeah, well, because most Betazoids have full telepathic ability, whereas she only has limited empathic.
Well, and she has telepathy with people she's like deeply bonded with, like Mom and Riker.
True.
Bill.
I mean, Spock's a better telepath than Deanna, and he's only half Vulcan.
Sarek is definitely a better telepath than Deanna.
I mean, he's certainly a better empath, considering, he made everybody on the ship angry.
No, that would make them empaths, not him.
Reverse
empath. I don't know what the word is for that.
Isn't that just...
projection?
Isn't that just being a telepath?
I don't know.
Telepaths can put a thing into your head, and a thought or a feeling, I think.
Brain slug.
Can I borrow a feeling?
Sure. Which one
Wasn't
do you like?
that Milhouse's
That's Milhouse's dad's song.
Dad's, yeah.
Can I borrow a feeling?
Wow, we're really
What
boring
an
this
obscure
episode.
reference. It's just
Because a lot of the episodes were good. It's a problem.
Well, no, not that. It's just like this one is like there's not much to really.
Yeah,
I mean,
there were lots of...
We
Not
got
what I
Wesley out of that sweater.
That's true. Thank God for that.
Oh yeah, he became an ensign for real.
But not for real. It's just like Picard's like, I gotta have this kid around. He's gonna be bothering me.
They wanted so bad for him to just go to take his fucking test with the academy.
It looks so bad every time I get a call from my boss and there's a kid on the bridge wearing a
gray,
sweater.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna let him wear some big boy pants and.
Yeah, but does that mean he doesn't have to go to the academy now?
Of course he has to go to the academy. That's fucking bullshit.
He's gonna go later.
Can you imagine?
They only accept once a year?
That seems weird, yeah.
Well, it's just
How many times a year do colleges accept?
well, you can
2 or
start,
3.
You can start
Do they really?
in the fall or the spring or.
I mean,
the
yeah,
summer.
most like sort of standard degree programs want you to start in autumn, but
Yeah, so I think
but
of
there
that
are
as-
you can start in spring. You end up graduating.
You know
off
what I
cycle,
want to know?
But
How is there not an online program for this yet? It's the 24th century.
There's a holodeck for
You
it.
want
How
to tell me
is there-
exactly? They could literally do
Online-
holodeck classrooms.
online programs weren't
Well,
a
'cause
thing
part
then,
of
and
it
no
is-
one predicted the
part of
internet.
But what
is
I'm
the
saying is like
academy experience.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you
but
get to
you could do
live
that-
away from mom. You get to party.
Put the Dirty Dancing poster up on your wall.
You get to live in
Yeah.
San
have an,
Francisco.
You get
have an
that post-
escape tunnel
you get the
behind
poster
it.
that has all of the Pink Floyd albums painted on the girls'
Oh, the
backs.
bums.
No, I was
Yeah.
going to say they're all issued like their uniform and the traditional Earth college dorm accoutrement, which is that.
Here's your train spotting poster.
I was gonna say that poster of
and
John
a stolen stop sign.
that picture of John Belushi in the college
Yep.
sweater.
There you go.
It's like, why do we do this? It's some kind of just tradition.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if somebody had to room with Data at the academy. Like, I wonder if-
Data was a really polite
No,
room.
he just sat there all the time.
Yeah, but the problem is
Thinking.
like you would be sleeping or trying to sleep, and he would just still be sitting there, and you'd have to be like, Data, I know you don't have to sleep, but could you at least turn around and not look at me while I'm trying to sleep? Like, I feel like that would be really off-putting.
No, Data
you
was
would
the
wake up
roommate.
in the middle of the night to pee, and he would just still be sitting there like,
No, Data was the roommate who was having sex with somebody at all times because he is, anatomically correct and fully functional.
That's the thing, because
oh
he
my
doesn't
God,
need
the
to
ladies
sleep.
of the academy must have just fucking ridden him like some
Mechanical
kind of
bull.
amusement park ride. A mechanical bull, perfect.
But yeah, no, he's the perfect
beer.
roommate because he doesn't have to sleep. He was often just up all night doing experiments and shit. It's like, where's your roommate? It's like, I have never met
He's
him.
doing experiments, all right.
On the ladies.
Good guys. He probably
Oh yeah, Data probably fucked everybody
Tested it
for
out.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
tested the waters.
Yeah, but then there's all kinds of critters in the academy. What about like people who have to like be submerged in water at all times?
He doesn't need to breathe.
They have a
Yeah, but he might be
special
shouldn't
room.
get water in his.
What about the cetaceans?
No, we see him go underwater. He's fine.
We know that the Enterprise, or at
Well,
least
then hopefully he fucks
we know that the
everybody.
Enterprise in the at least in the alternate yesterday's Enterprise reality, but also according to the blueprints, has a cetacean ops. So does that mean that there are whales at the Academy?
After the events of Star Trek IV, yes.
Yeah,
Interesting.
there's
whales or
That would be
dolphins?
whales.
Maybe
Dolphins
it's,
just at the Academy.
Maybe
Belugas.
it's Xindi Aquatics.
Zindwa.
We'll see them in Enterprise.
Yeah, there's a
Is Enterprise the one with the shitty theme song we listened to on the way here?
Yep.
Yes,
yeah.
That
Why
theme
did you
song.
listen to that?
because she never heard it.
Because he hates me.
It's been a long time.
Here's the thing. Why
Getting from
Why
there
did
to
they decide to go for like a 90s R&B stroke Christian rock song for their theme.
It wasn't even the 90s anymore. They're
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why they did it.
Did you see the Discovery trailer that had Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah, I didn't really care for the music for that either.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Lenny Kravitz.
I know that they were
trying.
I think they were trying because it was the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, so they were trying to make it look action-y.
Well, I think they're also trying to like assuage people. Like, don't worry, we're going to be more fun this season.
Look,
anyway,
we have an Orville joke.
Should we move on?
It was an Orville joke.
We've stopped talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
Menage Troi. I
Yeah,
don't think I have anything else except that
was-
another amazing performance by
right, the
Picard.
Shakespeare quoting.
was
That was
lovely.
great.
Oh my god, I
plucked
loved
the
it.
rose.
You did.
They should have had Worf go. No, it's still better than the original Klingon.
Aw. That hadn't happened yet.
That's true.
Oh, we're still not.
We haven't caught up to 6 yet.
Really? Jesus.
Roddenberry's still alive, so no.
Which means
yeah,
we're
but
yet to see a younger Sarek. Even.
But he didn't die until
Younger
after he
Sarek?
saw that
He's in
screening.
Star Trek 6.
Oh, that's right.
The screening killed him.
Yeah, the screening definitely killed him. He died in 91, is that right?
Yeah.
We're still
That's
wow.
when.
Yeah, it's still
6 came
mid
out.
1990 right now.
Okay.
I really want to watch 6 again.
It's good.
That's a great fucking movie.
It is. But that's not what we're here for. We are here for
Transfigurations.
such a bad episode.
I did not like it.
I liked it.
The episode was fucking terrible.
Oh.
See, I'm a sucker for a person who doesn't know their identity and what does that mean and who are you if you don't have an identity. This went fucking nowhere.
It just felt like a first draft.
And it was a pointless romance with Crusher that
Came out of
meh.
nowhere.
No, I loved it.
Eh.
No, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's that Stockholm Syndrome thing that people have for their doctors. It's not called Stockholm Syndrome.
But
it's that
Florence
whole, like,
Nightingale effect.
Yeah, that
But
thing.
that's from the doctor's side.
Well, it was both. But, so it was Nightingale, Florence Galen night then for him. I don't know.
I like that.
But, okay, so first, before we even start, you asked me what I thought about it, and then I asked you what you thought I thought about it. And then you were like, I'll tell you later. So now, Chris, for the whole world, what did you think I would think about this episode? Because I still don't know.
Lots of bulge?
I kind of thought you'd hate it.
Oh, that's not...
That's boring.
Yeah, it's really boring. Why? Poor why?
Because it's not written well. It's disjointed. It again.
Whoa. When has something being written well or not ever had any effect?
I thought you'd like it if only for the bulge.
I did like the bulge.
No, that jumps like.
Oh,
like,
I loved it.
Why is that?
I
what
wanted
they
someone
dressed
to.
him in?
I wanted someone to throw a
know.
bucket
They have
of water
other
on him. That's what I
clothes.
wanted.
It's like, why do they dress Q so stupidly when they have other clothes on the ship?
Yeah.
Q dresses himself.
Okay.
No, but that one time where he was human and they gave him that awful outfit.
So
Oh yeah, I forgot about that outfit. I think I've been blocking it out.
You're lucky.
Fit.
can we talk about before we get into the meat of this episode? Can we at least
There's
talk
meat
about
in this episode.
Yeah, there was a lot of meat in this episode.
Can we talk about
Sex.
fucking Christy?
Oh.
Fucking Christy.
No, but Geordi probably could write a book on it.
But like, okay. So the last time we saw Christy, she walked out on a date with Geordi.
Yep.
Mid Coco Ono.
Mid Coco Ono with the dancing gypsy.
Oh, she wouldn't hook up with a gypsy?
I hope so.
No, so there's the gypsy violinist.
She
fiddler.
comes back later, turns on the program, and just fucks some crazy like lubes up the bow and shoves it up
So
his
like
ass.
the last time we I'm not gonna say if a date isn't going well, you have every right to make it put an end to it and say, this really didn't work out. Thank you for the Coco Ono. I'm
Yeah.
out.
That was fine.
Well,
But-
especially in the future when they're in a post-scarcity society and it's not even like the man's buying you anything anyway.
Yeah, but just to let somebody down easy, and of course Geordi's reaction in that episode was a little
Stupid.
infantile.
Yeah, definitely.
But of course, it hurts. It hurts to get shut down like that. But whatever. But then Christy, my girl, you don't fucking start coming on to the guy a few weeks later.
Yeah, why did she
You
suddenly
don't-
decide she was into him?
you don't
It was
start-
like 6 months later.
Still, it doesn't matter. It's like, it was I thought that was rude. I thought that she was leading him on. She had the benefit of the doubt with the Coco Ono thing. Like, yeah, she agreed to the date and then walked out in the middle, but whatever.
Well, maybe
But-
what we haven't seen is that they've been like
He's been
chatting
putting
a
in the
little
nice-
bit, and he's like, I'm really sorry. I realized that was really overboard, and
I'm
she was.
certain Geordi didn't.
That did
Yeah,
not
no,
happen.
that's
That
not
is
Geordi.
not.
Well,
a
okay,
thing that
maybe
happened.
she's just really thirsty.
It would have been.
He's just.
You've burned that bridge, Christy.
No, I would just like to stop you there. Geordi, there is no way to burn a bridge with Geordi.
Well, clearly, that's what we've learned, is that even after you've been humiliated on your date, you can still...
He can just program his visor to make her appear to him as Leia Brahms, and he'll be fine.
He probably did.
It didn't occur to me in the first time we saw her, but she kind of looks like her.
She's not unattractive. She's an attractive lady.
Yeah. But it didn't occur to me till this episode. It's like, oh, she actually kind of looks like that actress.
But
no, I just feel like the casting department was too lazy to cast a new actor.
Have a new love interest.
People like continuity, too.
I know, but the problem is it's out of order. Like, if it had been... Oh, Geordi. Hi, I've been waiting for you to ask me out. And then they go out. But then by the time the date rolls around, he's lost the magic confidence boost
I don't think he'll ever lose that, does he?
I don't.
Is it gone next
I
next
fucking
episode?
hope so, because that was so stupid.
Next time we see
really
Leah
dumb.
Brahms, we'll make the judgment.
Yeah, it was a really, really poor
Like, if it had been in the
sidewalk.
other order, I'd be fine with it. But it's like, why is she suddenly into him? He's a gross creeper, and she knows it.
Or when we meet his
Also,
dead girlfriend.
Didn't realize this when we watched the last episode she was in, but this time I was like, why is this woman familiar? And I looked her up. She's from Tommy Boy.
Oh.
She was the mailroom woman at Callahan Auto that ends up
also
being Chris
looks
Farley's love interest.
A little like the girl that played Han Solo's girlfriend in Solo.
You know, you're not wrong.
You mean Daenerys Targaryen?
She does
That's
kind of
not
look
what
like
the
her.
character was called in that movie, but yes, the same
Kira.
actor.
Kira.
What's her real name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Amelia
Amelia Clark.
Yeah, that's
wow, way off.
right.
I almost said Natalie Portman.
You know what it is? I think it's kind of the thick eyebrow thing, which she had in Solo, but doesn't have in Game of Thrones. But she has in real life.
Well, it's because thick eyebrows are the thing right now.
Well, they apparently were also the thing in 1990 because not very thick, but not exactly.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, fashions change.
So,
true.
But yeah, thicker natural eyebrows are sort of the look right now.
So yeah, this episode was hot garbage.
Yeah. Oh, Worf gets in a sick burn on Geordi without realizing it when he says, she has to see the fire in your eyes.
Yeah,
And then Geordi looks sad.
Insensitive.
Like,
Geordi, Worf, what did you do?
And Worf didn't even really pick up on it.
He did not.
He did.
not.
He just didn't give a shit.
Probably.
I was waiting for him to go, Worf, asshole, is it?
Oh.
Right. The fire in your cocks? We have one. Right.
Oh, why would there be fire there? What do you have?
It hurts. It hurts when I pee.
It always burns when Klingons pee. They love it like that.
That's probably true.
I bet Klingons really like to have stuff shoved up their urethra.
No.
I think urethra might be a plural in its own.
Urethras.
I think that it might.
I just want to say urethras.
Urethropodes.
So another problem I had with this episode,
Urethrakovs.
because there's a lot of problems.
There's a lot of problems.
The fact that the aliens had this magic make everyone on the ship stop being able to breathe button.
Yeah, that's a great weapon.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a fucking game over, man.
Yeah, like even if they had just said like, oh god, they broke into the computer and life support, but no, it's a magic make. Like what the fuck was this episode? Was just Deus Ex everything.
Yeah.
It was some kind of. It struck me as being some kind of computer override that just sucked all the air out.
But it didn't. That's
No,
just
because
it.
as soon as he fixed the people, they were fine again. I think
Yeah.
it's just like I think they did
maybe
something to
he
like.
gave them gills or made them so that they didn't need air.
But how?
They need air.
What was that weapon?
I think what it did is
It was a plot
it
device.
just turned off everybody's lungs.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
turned off.
holy shit.
Jake and I were debating because I couldn't figure out from the scene because it's very, very quick. You see Data on the ground too.
Oh, yeah, what
and I'm
the fuck?
thinking, does Data have sympathy asphyxia? And Jake says, no, he was on the ground checking to see
Yeah,
if
I think he was trying to.
okay.
I think he was.
Oh.
I think well, it was not clear, and I like the sympathy asphyxia better.
Like
I think
everyone
he was
else is
just
doing
faking
it.
Yeah.
Also, again, argument against having families on these things. There were hundreds of children also having that happen to
Most of them died.
At least a few minor.
Well, that sort of makes the episode better. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
That's
no, because
terrible.
what's his face would have
joke. These are
resurrected them
jokes.
anyway.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
that's
I
true.
love that
He
he's
can resurrect folk.
But yeah, the fucking magic stop breathing button. Like, the very end was just like, oh, Jesus, we have to wrap this up. They have a
Throw him in an
super
orange
weapon.
suit.
Yeah, they have a super weapon, but don't worry, we're going to put him in a dumb outfit. And, oh my god, it was so bad. Everything about this episode was so bad.
Oh, you know what else was bad was they had these motor assist bands, which were just little belts that go around your knees and elbows and help you walk and use your arms. And I'm thinking, why didn't they use these on Jameson?
Well, it wasn't so much that, like, I think with him, it wasn't so much that the muscles couldn't, it's that he'd lost sort of, like, because they even said it was sort
the
of...
electrical impulse
I think it's
from
like
brain to
for
leg.
nerve damage.
Yeah, he hadn't walked in so long, he had to sort of do rehab. Like, with Jameson, his body was just deteriorating. This was a case of, you've been out and you were severely injured, you haven't had to walk in your own power in a while.
What is that called, though? There's a thing, atrophy.
Yeah.
That happens.
Well, that happens to muscles, too, though.
What? Atrophy?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I don't think that's what we're saying. I think it was nerve damage.
Well, what you were saying makes me think it's atrophy.
Oh,
it may have been nerve damage because half his brain was blown off. But,
yeah, again,
to me, what they were doing was sending electrical impulses into the legs to, like, help it move because the brain was still, like, rerouting those electrical pathways.
So nerve damage.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just saying that the way you were describing it was making me think of atrophy, not nerve damage. Sorry, I wasn't correcting him. I was saying that what he was describing was making me think of atrophy. Sorry, Chris.
God damn it, Caitlin.
But
anyway, the bands look...
Listen, I'll go.
The bands look stupid,
See
is what I'm
myself
saying.
out.
Oh,
yeah, they did look silly, yes. It just looked like they were trying to, like, make his pants look like they fit better. It looked like something you would wear, like, for jogging in the 90s that actually did nothing, but, like, it's like, no, it helps to stimulate the blood flow.
Is it just me, or does it make not a lot of sense that in order to get to the balcony in the cargo bay, you need to leave the cargo bay and take the elevator to the next floor?
Yeah, no, that's intensely
Or you could just
stupid.
go over it, like,
yeah. I feel like in the future we do see a ladder there.
Yeah. I mean, they've got that tiny elevator in fucking engineering.
Ooh, a slide would be
Spiral
fun.
slide.
Here's the thing. I don't understand how Worf broke his neck when all I saw was him catching his foot on the railing.
He landed on his fucking back.
But he landed flat on his back. Like, that would...
Would that snap your neck?
I don't know if it would snap your
It
neck.
would shatter your spinal column.
But also, like, I thought Klingons were supposed to be built a little stronger, a little
You'd
tougher.
think, yeah.
Built Klingon
You don't know what that floor is made of.
What doesn't kill you
Titanium.
makes you stronger. Just kidding, it did kill him, so I guess.
Yeah, so again, Worf gets made to look like a bitch.
That was a sick fall, though.
It looks like a bitch. He fell like 20 feet. What a bitch.
No, it's not just that. It's like...
He was
he
blown
got
back by
blown
some
back.
nerd having a weird evolution-gasm.
It adds more. It's another instance where when you need to make an alien look incredibly powerful, you just have them make Worf look like a bitch, and that instantly establishes the strength that we're dealing with.
In
also,
this case,
he's strong enough to bring him back, and Worf, and Klingons are impossible to bring back from the dead.
We've learned that.
so that's what's making Worf look like a bitch as his really obvious stuntman.
Yeah.
Though we gotta
really
go,
Yeah.
which made me really happy.
Is it like, it's got to be like union stuff that requires stuntmen? Because sometimes you see they've replaced it with the stuntman for things that are not even a stunt.
Actually, what it's often is not union things, but insurance. Insurance companies won't let the act... Like, I've definitely seen interviews where actors like, well, I wanted to try that, but the insurance company...
Well, also, I wonder, like, there's probably... But I imagine, like, the stunt people's unions must insist on it as well, though, because they're staying in business. Like, yeah, we need to hire the stuntman for this lead.
I don't know if they have their own separate from SAG-AFTRA, though, is the thing.
They must.
I honestly don't know. If you know, readers, tell us in the comments on Facebook.
Because it's a totally different interest at play, right?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think, again, more often than not, you find either the insurance company or the producers or directors not wanting to risk, like, even with a minor stunt, it could go wrong, and they're like, great, we have to stop filming for 3 weeks because Stewart broke his collarbone.
It is it's Stuntmen's Association of Motion Pictures.
There we go. But yeah, sure, so then they may have that as well, but I don't think they have to try very hard to convince everyone else either. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably a good stunt, but there's definitely times when I've noticed for, like, what does not appear to be a stunt that involves any risk where they've used the double.
Yeah, or they just trip or something. Like, I was looking through Picard's stuntsman's long file of things he's done for the show, and it's just like, I don't even remember Picard doing anything in that scene other than, like, tripping and falling over.
It also might be just like if some of those scenes were, like, later pickup things.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably less... Yeah, they might not film on the same day.
Yeah, it's like, just use the stuntmen.
Yeah.
We got the B team doing this. He's in 10 forward right now filming a different scene.
But a lot of the stuntmen also serve as body doubles for
That's true.
setting up shots.
Yep,
So
that's true too.
They're probably already on set no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you want to set your shot before you get your actors involved so that they can not be wasting their time.
Especially since it probably takes Worf like 4 hours to get into that makeup.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, and I noticed that in this episode that Worf had the ridge, but it was not
as prominent.
Side
eye.
I think what it was, I think probably in some episodes they do it differently or slightly wrong.
Yeah.
I loved his profile in this episode, because you got a good look at his profile a few times during his, I'm teaching Geordi how to like women. Talk to ladies.
And, come on, Worf. You fucked a girl once and was convinced that you were married. You are not equipped.
I think the coffee pot just turned off, Ames.
Yes, it did.
I'm drinking your coffee, Jake.
Get it, Caitlin.
You had your chance.
All right. Yeah, the one time we've seen you with a woman, you have sex with her once, and then are like, yep, we're married now. And, you're over here telling Geordi about romancing people?
But he knows that that's not part of human culture.
Yeah, still, I would not take romance advice from Worf.
So can Worf just bang any human he wants and it not count?
Oh, maybe.
So he and Pulaski are still a thing.
I hope so.
Good.
Probably. No, he would, because he insists. He's always insisting that human women are too fragile for him. That he'll just destroy them physically.
Yeah, but she survived that tea, so he knows she's something special.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he probably did bang Pulaski, but I don't think.
That's the real reason she left the ship.
Because he destroyed her?
Not that, but just one.
Split her in half?
Maternity leave?
Oh God.
Oh jeez.
Hey, actually, that's possible, because if we start living longer, the business might start working longer.
Ugh.
I'm also sure there's medical treatments. I'm sure anybody at any age can conceive in Star Trek.
Yeah.
What's great is in the future, abortion is super easy because you just beam it out, just like poops.
I feel like we've had this discussion.
Well,
I haven't.
Well, Ames, have I got great news for you? Abortion is really easy in the future. They just beam it out.
O'Brien's actually the most sinister guy on the ship, because any guy that knocked up his girlfriend's going to come to O'Brien and be like, okay, here's the coordinates of where she's sleeping, and in the morning I want this little thing taken care of. And O'Brien's like, "Aye, you got it." I don't know why he's Scottish, but
what are they?
I'll beam the baby right out into space.
But first I have to.
Tidy.
First I have to go kayaking.
Yeah.
Aren't there safety protocols on the holodeck? How do you usually know?
You can't get killed by another, a holodeck person, but of course if you bump into something, you could break your arm.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's not fucking magic.
Yeah, it's true.
Is that just a thing that happens with kayakers? Because when I read up this synopsis for this episode, he's like, as often happens with kayakers, O'Brien dislocated his shoulder. I'm like, does that happen?
I've never kayaked.
Is it actually stated that he was on the holodeck kayaking? Because he could have just been in cetacean ops and
riding a whale.
Lieutenant Shamu was tired of his shit.
No, now I'm just picturing you doing the Free Willy thing.
Yes.
Standing under on the rock with his hand. Oh!
Snaps his arm off.
Okay, now I'm just picturing him standing under with his hand up while a mostly naked Julian Bashir jumps over him.
Julian Bashir?
His best friend in DS9 will get to him.
We will absolutely.
You know how O'Brien has no friends in TNG? Well, he gets a friend.
Wow!
The best friend.
Well, listen, any improvement is great.
Any improvement in O'Brien's life will take. Especially once he marries Keiko.
Yeah, that's not an improvement.
So anything else about...
I was going to ask, because
this Trash Fire episode?
I tuned out entirely during all the technobabble scenes. What the fuck was Geordi even trying to do with, Data and Wesley during any of their scenes together?
They had scenes together?
Yeah.
What?
They had some kind of pump.
Oh, they were trying to figure out what that thing
computer
did. They were trying to figure out where what's his name was, where he came from.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
it. It was
nonsense.
A 5-minute scene of technobabble.
I'm trying to, yeah.
Well, because it was some more
didn't follow any of it.
It was some showing and not telling about how confident and great Geordi is now. Because he was like, now wait a minute, superhuman smart computer. What if I tell you this thing to try and it works? And Data's like, holy shit, I am superhumanly intelligent and that is still brilliant and mind-blowing to me. Clearly, Geordi, you are incredible.
Do you want to go have Coco Onos on the holodeck?
I like to imagine that the date with Christy that he has still didn't work very well, and he just ended up fucking Leah anyway that night.
And the violinist. It was a hollow three-way.
Menage a Trois.
Yeah, no, this episode was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
I liked it.
I mean, I liked John Doe well enough.
Oh, I didn't.
He had a very nice body. And
Well,
they put it in a really ugly fucking jumpsuit.
All right.
It
And
didn't
terrible
flatter
makeup.
him at all.
Well, the makeup looked... He was just... His species looks like they're melting.
So let's talk about just a little bit about what's happening to him. So I think, there's obviously the bullshit fake science description of like, oh, we're evolving.
If
really
you
fast.
believe evolution works like it does in X-Men.
But I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it's more of a metamorphosis.
Yeah.
Like, all of his species has that capability, perhaps. And
Probably.
it's just that he is...
Would you say it was more of a transfiguration? Probably.
Yeah, quite possibly. So I
They
don't
said
think it's a-
transmutation once. I was like, that's not the title. Say the title.
transubstantiation. Isn't that what happens to the host?
Yeah, that's a religious thing.
That's where in Catholic
Jesus.
mythology,
It's when the bread
comes
becomes
down.
the actual
it
body of
literally
Christ.
becomes the body of Christ.
That's
it is
disgusting.
literal.
You're just eating flesh.
It's still crispy, which is weird. So
Well, it's like Jesus pork rinds,
that's true.
but with no flavor.
Oh, Catholicism. All right, so I think that's all we got on these 3 episodes. I think we
did pretty
made
good,
pretty
huh?
good time.
Yeah, we
working through these.
We did.
Yeah, we barely talked about Transfigurations. It
Because
was
it
a
was
good
just
idea.
so bad.
Oh, I
was
liked
pretty
it.
rough.
Wait, I want to speak to it for 1 second. I really liked it. I liked the stupid romance because I love stupid romances. I loved the character. I loved the vulnerability. All the reasons that she was like, I love him. I loved this episode. Also,
I hated her telling Wesley about
I was
it.
just gonna
that
say,
was a
I
little
actually-
awkward
Weird.
conversation. to have
hey, you
with
know
your
what?
mom
My
as a
grandmother
boy.
and I have had much worse
Yeah,
conversations.
but I feel like female children and adult women,
Females.
I feel like
Mom.
females.
Don't mock him.
I
Don't
feel like,
jerk Jake
I feel
off
like
the table.
That's an easier conversation for women to have, but I feel like a teenage boy is not having that. Who are you gonna bang, ma?
Yeah, but
conversation.
he's the one that starts it.
I know it's unrealistic.
I want a stepdad!
He's been talking to Jordy too much, that's why.
More like fucking creepy Oedipus complex shit. He's probably planning to kill him
Yeah.
God.
and then gouge his own eyes out, hopefully.
Anywho, so okay, well, so
Wear his own
Caitlin just expressed her incorrect opinion, so we'll carry on.
Thank you.
So next time on A Star to Star to Star,
Steer to Star,
we'll be
bye.
talking about 2, but really 1 2-part episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, the well-known, possibly greatest season-ending cliffhanger in history.
What about who shot Mr.
Did
Burns?
they shoot JR?
I think this is actually arguably better. I
don't know anything about it, so
I was
please
never,
don't spoil it.
I was never a Dallas fan. That's before my time, and I know how big of a deal it was. But this beats Where Is Dewey? This beats Who Shot Mr. Burns?
I keep forgetting about Where Is Dewey, and you literally brought it up yesterday.
Where is Dewey?
It's from
It was
Malcolm
a
in the Middle.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, I've never seen Malcolm in the
cliffhanger.
Middle.
It's pretty good. It's very funny.
I've heard it's good. I somehow missed it. I missed the boat.
No, anywho. So Best of Both
And Bryan
Worlds.
Cranston is a
Really great
beast.
episodes. We'll be talking about them. And of course, it is the season ender.
Yep.
So we'll be doing our season 3 wrap also next
Wow,
week
I
as
have
part of
no
that.
idea what I'm going to pick.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I've already picked my 3 worst.
Transfiguration is on the list.
I'm not telling.
That's a
We'll,
yes.
we'll talk next week.
So yeah, so that's next week. We'll get there when we get there.
Yep.
But
Next week.
until then, you can follow us online. StarTrek.com. No.
You've
we're
done
not
that
there.
before.
Facebook.com/Star Trek.
Nope.
Go to Facebook.com and search for Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. I think you just need the first part.
Yeah.
You can also find us on Twitter and Tumblr too. Our user handle is @SSHB podcast. No underscore. We're also on iTunes and Google and other podcast places and SoundCloud, and we're there. And just search. And you can also probably use a search engine to find us. SSHB podcast.
Give Bing a try. Bing is lonely right now.
Yeah.
Go to bing.com/A Star to Steer Her By, and you'll find us. Give us a star review on Star Tunes. I'm Jake.
This has been Chris.
Well done, Jake. This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Umox. Human.
We didn't even talk about the
Female.
Umaks. We didn't even really talk about the
felt the
Umaks.
Umaks.
There'll be plenty of Umaks in the future.
Thank goodness.
Tetanus isn't a bad one.
No, well, it's a deep muscle one, so like I
Yeah.
still have a bump that's sore, and it's
Rub
been
it.
like a week now.
You gotta rub it.
Yeah, I have been a little bit.
For
as
a
much as I
minute-
can stand it.
I thought you meant tetanus itself wasn't that bad.
Is it bad?
You lockjaw?
You get a little lockjaw, you lose a few pounds. Silver linings.